All right, geometry students. So I've been gone for a few days, and you guys finished the Chapter 5 test, and now you guys are starting Chapter 6 without me. So I got a video for you guys to watch on your first lesson for Chapter 6. Chapter 6 is all about circles. So what we're doing in this first lesson is we're just reviewing different parts of a circle. Okay, so this isn't new material. If you are not in my semester 1 geometry class, we reviewed all this stuff during chapter 1. Okay, so we kind of looked at these definitions already. So to kind of go through this, so here we have a circle here. To name a circle, we name it like this in geometry. You just go with the center point of your circle, which is, this one would be, our center point is A. So to name it, we just go like that there. All right, we would call that one circle A. Okay, a radius of a circle goes from the center A to the outside. All right, again, I know you guys know this stuff already. So this is just a simple review before we get into all the different circle things for chapter 6. So we got two radiuses here, AB and AC. We could name those just by putting line segment AB and line segment AC. Okay, so that names the two radiuses of this circle. All right, a chord. The next one that we got here is chord. A chord of a circle is where we have the endpoints of the line on the actual circle itself. Okay, so here we got two chords here. We have chord EF because the endpoints are on the outside of the circle. So we could name that as EF. And then we have another chord here, and that is EG. And this also happens to be the diameter of the circle because our chord passes through the center of the circle. Then we would use that as the diameter also. So our second one we have is EG. All right, and that leads us down to talking about diameter. Diameter is the longest chord of a circle, and it is a chord that goes through the center of the circle. All right, so my diameter for this circle right here would be HJ because it goes right through the center. Okay, so that chord would be our diameter. All right, just some circle basics today for starting chapter 6. All right, another thing on a circle is that we have is a tangent. A tangent looks like this right here. All right, it is when a line touches one point on the circle and no part of the tangent ever goes inside of the circle. All right, so it looks like this right here. We would name it as line MN. Okay, so we draw our nice little cute little line up above that, and that would be naming that tangent. All right, it never goes inside of the circle. Congruent circles are ones that are going to have the same radius. So these both have a radius of 5. Those are congruent. Concentric circles have the same center, but they are different sizes, different radius, different sizes. All right, so both of these circles, they're inside of each other, and they share the same center point. All right, we'll talk about some arcs next. We'll get some definitions of some arcs. An arc is 2 points on the circle that are on the outside of the circle itself. Okay, so one arc we have here, we got a bunch of different arcs here, but one of them we have is arc RS because we start at this endpoint and we go all the way to that endpoint. So we'd name an arc just like that. We put the 2 endpoints down and the little arc symbol up above that. All right, we got a bunch of different ones here. We got arc UT. We could name that one as well. All right, arc UT. We'll get a few others of them down here. We could have arc ST. Okay, there's another arc, and then we could also have like a really big arc. We can go from U all the way over to S. So we can have arc US. All right, there's several others we could name, but we'll just stop with those right there. Those those are some examples of naming arcs. Then we have certain types of arc. If we have an arc whose endpoints are the actual diameter, then it's a semicircle. So that's going to be half of the circle. Okay, so here we have our diameter here because this line is going through the center point. So this last circle that we named, circle US, would be a semicircle. And we use it, we name 3 letters with our semicircle. So we got U, T, and S. All right, so there is our semicircle halfway around. Then we have ourselves a minor arc, which is going to be smaller than a semicircle. It's named only using 2 letters. Okay, so we named one of them right here. We got RS. All right, that's one of our minor arcs that we named. All right, then the last one we got is major arc. This is where an arc is bigger than a semicircle. All right, so one that we could name here that has to be bigger than half the circle. We could go from R all the way over to T, and we'd use 3 letters to name that, so we're going to call that RST, just like that. Okay, so that would be a major arc. All right, so those are some different things about arcs of a circle. The last thing we're going to talk about is angles of inside of a circle. All right, if we have an angle whose vertex is the center of the circle, so this guy right here, all right, the angle goes all the way to the center of the circle, to the middle. All right, we call those things central angles. Okay, and they can be different sizes. All right, they're not always just 92 degrees. Okay, these can be different sizes. As long as they're the vertex, the point is the center of the circle, then we would have a central angle. All right, and then the measure of an arc is the same as whatever the angle measurement comes out to in degrees. Okay, so we're going to practice writing the degrees of the different arcs that we have. They have a whole list of arcs here for us, and we're going to find out what degrees each of those are. All right, so taking a look at, well, actually going back to our knowledge about circles, we know that half a circle is 180 degrees. Okay, we need to remember that to fill in these missing angles, and our full circle, of course, is going to be 360 degrees. Okay, so we use those two to find what our missing angles are. All right, so taking a look at this circle, here we have a diameter going right through the circle because it has 2 endpoints and it passes through the center. All right, so that would be half of the circle, so we know that that's 180 degrees. So if this much of the circle is 19, we could find this, how many degrees this is, by going 180 minus 19. All right, so 180 minus 19, then that's going to get me 161. Okay, so this much of the circle, this slice here, would be 161 degrees. All right, so now we can find out what this one's going to be here. So here's our diameter again, 180. It also makes a straight line, which is 180. So to find this one, we can go 180 minus 52. All right, and that's going to make this one be 128 degrees. Okay, so we got our missing angles filled in. Now we can go ahead and write down our numbers for each one of these arcs. So arc FG going from F to G, that gives us 52 degrees. Arc FGH, so going from FG to H, that's half the circle, a semicircle. So that's going to be 180 degrees. All right, and let's label these whether they are semicircles, minor arcs, or major arcs. This one is smaller than a semicircle, so that would be a minor arc. It also only uses 2 letters. This one would be a semicircle, SC. It's exactly half, and it's using 3 letters to name that. Next, we got GH, 128 degrees. It only has 2 letters. It's less than a semicircle, so minor arc. Then we have arc IH, which is this one here, 19 degrees. All right, another minor arc. We have arc IF, which goes from here to here, and we've calculated that as 161 degrees. That one is also a minor arc. It's less than 180. And then our last arc we have is IFG, so starting from here and going all the way around to G. Okay, so that's going to be this part here, 161, added with 52. All right, so if we take 161, add 52 to that, that's going to get me 213 for this one. So our last one comes out to 213 degrees, and we would call that a major arc. All right, because well, we have 3 letters named for it, and it's greater than 180. Okay, so there's a different review on the parts of a circle. I'll see you guys next time in class, and we'll start going through some different circle properties. You guys got a worksheet today that kind of goes with this, a nice review of some different circle parts. So I'll see you guys next time in class.